Welcome to the Williamsville Wire broadcast here at Athens High School. Williamsville takes on Riverton in the regional final. Nathan Simcoe alongside Colin Burge and Kyle Hubner, and doing production tonight, Gavin Scheffler once again. Thank you so much. Sponsored once again, proud sponsors of the Williamsville Wire, Elite Lawn Care, Wade Mueller at Westtown Ford and Top Tier Springfield. More information on our sponsors, williamsvillewire.com/sponsors. So let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket at the moment. First, we're going to look at the IHSA Canton sectional, and the winner of kind of the sectionals will end up playing, so I decided to put both of them on here just because I think there's going to be some interesting games. Rock Ridge plays Mercer County tonight in a regional final. LPG, El Paso Gridley, plays Peoria Notre Dame, two really good teams. LPG barely beat Tremont on Wednesday night, so it'll be an interesting game. They go up against the Catholic juggernaut in Peoria. And, of course, another juggernaut, Peoria Manual, playing Clinton. Clinton's had one heck of a season, but they're going to have all they can handle tonight. So I kind of feel bad for the Maroons. They got a tough draw, but I've seen crazier things happen, so not to say Clinton can't compete with Manual, but we'll have to see how that goes. And then Macomb plays Sherrard, rounding out your regional finals in Canton. But here in the Beardstown sectional part of the bracket, Warsaw West Hancock plays Pleasant Plains tonight. Alton Marquette plays Roxana. That's at Roxana, so that should be an interesting game. Alton Marquette kind of your favorite, but Roxana at home fighting for their lives. You never know what's going to happen. Then at North Mac, Auburn plays Greenville. Should be an interesting game there. Auburn, your favorite. They're the 1 seed. They're looking for a record number of wins if they win that game. They'll have the most wins in program history for a season, so they're definitely looking for a regional title. They can also make history as well tonight, but Greenville looking to put up a tough fight. And then, of course, here at Athens, Riverton and Williamsville. Colin, Kyle, what are we thinking?
I mean, this is the game that the seniors have been dreaming of. Ever since they lost at Riverton, they've always wanted their comeback. And I remember the seniors telling me that they're not done and they think they would meet again, and so far they have. So for Williamsville, this is kind of a redemption game against, a former teacher, obviously Riverton, Battle of the Blacktop, and just close rivals, a lot of history between the two, and it could get chippy, but I do like the fire that this game brings, and I love the energy already in it. 11 minutes to tip off. A lot of fans in both sides, orange and blue, and then purple and gold. So for this game, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely high intensity. Two sold-out student sections tonight, so a lot of intensity in this gym. Packed house, probably just going to get more packed as the night goes. But I don't know. The Bullets have completely changed as a team. This is a completely different Bullets team than the team that lost to Riverton at Riverton. So the Riverton has never seen this 1-3-1 zone that we're running now, and it's worked. 22 turnovers against Auburn, a bunch against QND, a bunch against New Berlin. Honestly, the reason we beat New Berlin in that game, they've never seen it, so this will be their first time. We'll see how they handle it. But I think the Bullets have a good chance in this one defensively, for sure.
We always talk about rebounding and shooting for this Bullet team, especially a guy like Carson Kohler, who's so critical in both of those aspects for Williamsville. And I think Carson is I think he had some turnovers that were costly for Williamsville last game, even though that they were able to pull away. I think that in a game like this, and even if, past today, you're looking potentially, win first, but think about it later. But if they want to go any further in the playoffs, you've got to be able to take care of the basketball. You've got to be able to get rebounds. And Williamsville, although did pull away from QND, I think they could have done a little bit better. How about you guys?
And yeah, I agree. It's all about, I've said this probably every time for the last 5 games, it's all about consistency. How well you can score inside, how well you can limit turnovers. We know our defense is based on the trap, the turnover margin. That's how we play, and that's how we play now. So for the defense, it is figured out, but offensively, consistent. Got to stay consistent from the line. Carson Kohler has to get going. Can't be too inefficient from down low. And then obviously your shooters, Braden Sailing, Ryan Mendenhall if he gets in, and Brecken Thomas, along with Garrett Timm. They'll need to hit some big shots tonight. I have no doubt Sailing will respond to the pressure he did against QND. We'll see how much he has here tonight. But again, offensive consistency, you got to have it.
sailing against Riverton last time was quiet. How is he going to come out tonight? And how does Riverton come out against this, 1-3-1? Williams is going to run a 1-3-1. There's no doubt about it. Riverton's kind of, as of last time, we know they can be sloppy. No doubt about that. And they kind of play with sloppy. They play a physical game. By the way, this officiating crew will call more fouls than the one last time, by the way. Just so I know these officials, I think there's a lot of stuff that, both teams got away with last time that are going to be called fouls. So that's kind of a different sort of game plan perhaps for either team. But, we've got to be prepared tonight. It's going to be Riverton likes games that are sloppy and physical, and Williamsville in a 1-3-1, it's going to be chaotic at times. I foresee that. We'll see how Williams was able to kind of work through that.
I agree. Riverton, seeing them against Porter and seeing them against, obviously, Williamsville, they pass the ball pretty well. They are very efficient, and they're smart with where they're passing. They like to, but the problem is they like to give up those easy drive-ins for kick-out threes, and if they aren't able to hit them, then that's when we need to convert offensively. But for Riverton, I mean, they do pass the ball well, so it'll be curious to see in this 1-3-1 how well they are going to. I would expect a lot of turnovers from Williamsville, but if you can't, you're going to have to tighten up and play defense.
Riverton, Julian Rice, we talked about, has a hand injury. I believe it's his middle and ring finger on his shooting hand. So against Porta, he had, I believe, 6 points?
He was quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet. And Riverton's going to have to get shooting going because they didn't shoot well against Porter from the outside. And really, in my opinion, Drew Marr went down against Porter, so that's something to note, that final score isn't exactly right. It's not right because with Drew Marr, Porter keeps that way closer, even if they're losing. And if they're losing, I mean, he's a game changer. He's like their whole team taking care of the ball. So, Riverton, in my opinion, although they did kind of have a convincing win in the regional semifinals, they weren't tested, in my opinion, like they perhaps would have been with Marr. I think Williamsville tonight can use that towards their advantage. Obviously, Williamsville came out to a very hot start against QND. You can't expect a 22-0 run. You can't expect that. You got to have small, you got to have goals for this game. But in a 1-3-1, it's going to take Riverton time, in my opinion, to get used to it. If Williamsville's playing well, look for Williamsville to get out again, and you got to capitalize. Last time, we saw against Auburn, Williamsville wasn't capitalizing. Yesterday, 2 days ago, they were, and I think that was a huge difference.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Riverton does pass the ball well, and like you said, Rice coming off an injury really wasn't tested, and neither were the Riverton Hawks against Porter without Marr, like you said. But again, Riverton has had those battle tests so far in the Sangamo Conference. Against Auburn, they lost in a close one. Against us, we went over there, they beat us. So for them to say that they have won big games, which is what I'm trying to say. So Riverton, Matt Mead and his squad can come out and not really steal one. I don't know if we're the favorites or they're the favorites. It's pretty evenly matched, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But again, Matt Mead will have his guys ready, so will Coach Beard.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Riverton's a solid team, but I want to look at Sailing for a minute, and I want to look at games that he's gone quiet in, and then got a rematch. New Berlin's the first one.
Yep.
He was super quiet in the New Berlin game in the Sangamon County tournament. I think he had 12, but most of his points came late when they were up by 10, 15. So that he had probably 7-8 points in time that it mattered in that game. And then he came out and he dropped, 21, 23 against them the second time.
Yeah.
And you can just tell, he's a man on a mission. He's a competitor. He's a winner. And when he has a bad game, he always circles that game that he gets for revenge on his calendar. And I looked at he's going to get face guarded for sure. But you saw against QND, his ability, he went away from the ability to shoot more and went to the ability to drive. And I really like that out of him. So I look for him to have a big game tonight and lead the Bullets.
I like, on the Riverton side of things, Julian Rice obviously has been their go-to guy, even as a freshman. Only 8 points in the game against Florida, but he really didn't need to score. A lot of guys were getting in the scoring column. Again, part of the reason why they may have not been tested in the regional semifinal. But here, you got to limit him. You got to prevent him from scoring the basketball because he is technically the key for their all offense. He can shoot when necessary. He can drive, and he's very smart with it. Can pass it down low. So for him, the Bullets going to have to stop Julian Rice, only a freshman.
You know, Kohler and Crumrine, obviously, I think that's going to be definitely a battle. You know, is Riverton going to get the best of Kohler? Is Kohler going to get the best of Kohler? You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes Carson, you know, kind of gets the best of himself. And I think Kohler's got to stay within him. You know, I think he, you know, the nerves hopefully are out. You know, we got to have him tonight. And no doubt about that.
I think the two matchups to watch tonight are Braden Sailing and Julian Rice and Isaac Crumbrand and Carson Kohler. And I think those two matchups honestly make the difference. And our 1-3-1 and their ability to press. They like to press and get the Bullets tired. And the Bullets have gotten tired in this 1-3-1. So we'll see how that works out. And those two matchups are going to be huge.
I did want to mention that in the 1-3-1, a lot of rotation, a lot of guys moving around at all times. And Williamsville only playing 6 to 7 deep. You know, you rely on your starters to play the majority of the game. So for them, they're going to have to find ways to kick it into second gear and not get fatigued early because Riverton will take advantage.
No doubt. We'll take a break here on the wire. Take a break for for Anthem and starters. We'll be back for starters right before tip-off. Thanks for being here on the wire once again. This has been the pregame show sponsored by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. It's going to be an epic showdown here at Athens. Williamsville Bullets taking on Riverton. Oh, here's a look at your starters. The guard, Garrett Timm. Shooting guard, Braden Sailing, who had 21 last game. He's been playing very well, Kyle.
Yep.
You're getting hyped, aren't you?
I am.
Forward, Brecken Thomas, who had a good game as well. Got a dunk as well, so kind of got the crowd hyped back in it. Forward, Reed Bodine. A critical part of the 1-3-1, and then center Carson Kohler, who's aforementioned. We've talked so much about this season. Man alive.
I want to talk about this environment, this atmosphere. When we came over to Riverton, those bleachers was filled as well, and Athens obviously a smaller complex, but this just feels so much more, and it just means so much more for both of these teams. Williamsville looking to get over the regional hump, finally bring a regional championship back to Williamsville, and for Riverton, new life in their basketball program. Again, also trying to bring a regional championship. So for these teams, it just means so much more to both. And the students, the fans, the players, and the communities both know that.
Yeah, Colin, I want to add to that. I think high school basketball is the coolest sport and the best atmospheres of any sport in high school, because of it's indoors. The gyms are always packed. It's so cool. I can't even lie to you. I started announcing starters and I got goosebumps. Like, I wish I could play basketball, but announcing's just as good. So
that's why we're up
this
here.
is a huge game.
Really
You can just tell this is a big game. Both teams probably prepared a lot for this over the last 24 hours, and we're ready to get this thing going.
Here we go. Carson Kohler's going to jump up against Isaac Crumrine. Dave Riedel, the official, will do the tip. Kind of a shorter guy, but he's going to try and get it up to the big guys. Here we go.
The Bullets need to come out and play loose just like they did last game.
The Bullets have the tip. It's Brecken Thomas. He'll work it up the floor. He's guarded early by Antonio Davis. Brecken Thomas near the key will work it to Kohler. Carson Kohler near the right wing, giving to Sailing. Sailing guarded, giving to Garrett Timm. Garrett Timm trying to set up the offense. Now works it back across the right side, giving to Brecken Thomas. Thomas driving in, giving to an open Timm who pulls from three.
Bang.
And nails it.
Huge start. And
You needed a start, you got it. That's 2 games in a row. It's threes to start the night for Williamsville. It's Rice across the way, giving to Davis. Davis guarded by Reed Bodine. Everyone is on their feet. It's Crumrine on the right corner, guarded by Sailing, working to an open Rice, but he's out of bounds, and the Bullets get it back. It's yet another hot start.
And they already look just as good as they did against QND. Obviously, I do believe Riverton's probably a more talented basketball team, but the Bullets, I mean, their intensity's unmatched.
Here we go. It's Sailing working up. He's guarded by Hartleb. They'll work it into the front court, Sailing to a Bodine. Bodine in the right corner, now working back towards the middle to Timm. Timm thought about pulling from 3, giving down to Kohler. Kohler trapped, back up to Timm. Timm driving in around few defenders. It is going to be stuffed. Not exactly the shot you wanted there, but it's Crum right into the front court. Passing out to Hartleb. It's almost tipped away by Timm. It's Rice over to Antonio Davis. Davis guarded by Bodine. Now he's trapped. He'll work back to Crumrine. Crumrine turns it over into the hands of Bodine. Bodine in the front court. No foul, but he's got it.
So again, Bodine in the fast break transition. We saw him miss a couple against Tri-City. This time he goes out and gets the bucket to go. Huge shot. Put him up 5.
Davis in this 1-3-1, now guarded by Bodine. Davis works it to Rice. Rice thought about shooting, now he'll work it to Hartleb. Hartleb in the left corner, guarded by Sailing. Working back to Davis. Davis swings it down to Miller. Jackson Miller swings it out to Davis. He pulls from 3. Shot no good. Bullets take the rebound. It's Sailing, but he's trapped. He needs some help. What do we have? Out of bounds.
Wow.
It's going back to Williamsville. I think Coach Beard should have used a timeout there.
Probably.
Either a timeout or Sailing should have thrown it off the defender.
Yeah, I would have used a 30.
I would have used a 30 as well. You have to. I mean, he's trapped there. There's no one in the backcourt, but Williamsville's also got to be more aware there.
And that's what Riverton likes to do. As much as we talk about the 1-3-1, that defense has worked for them a lot.
Rice mid-range jumper, fouled and 1, and he's capable of doing that in his first 2, and it's a possible 3-point play.
Notable Carson Kohler's first foul, so we'll see and monitor how well he stays out of foul trouble. But Rice, the freshman, ice in his veins, responds to the pressure and gets the and 1 bucket.
That's just what he does.
No doubt. Julian Rice completes the 3-point play, and gets it back to a 2-point game. See right there, that turnover costed you 3.
Riverton adding some of their own pressure.
Sailing down to Bodine. Bodine already at 4.
So Bodine coming in clutch once again. His length on defense is unmatched, and if he's able to get his offense going, he's a valuable, valuable starter.
Hartlove, it's tipped. It's Bodine again. Into the front, great pass to
one.
Thomas.
And
Unbelievable. Brecken Thomas through contact, gets it, and it's yet another possible 3-point play.
So again, Thomas, we've seen that all season, finishing through contact and getting the bucket to go. We saw it against Pleasant Plains. We saw it again, that tough finish down on this end. So for Brecken Thomas, that's huge, and he makes his first. We saw him miss 3 early. So Riverton will call a 30-second timeout.
Timeout called by Riverton. The Bullets up 7. They're looking for their first regional in 7 years. In 6 years, they have a 7-point lead. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Wire. That timeout's brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. It's Julian Rice giving in to Hartlove. Hartlove will give back to Rice. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first. And he almost threw it out of bounds, but it's Crumrine able to save it, giving back out to Rice. Rice is trapped, he'll give to Davis. Davis' jumper is good.
And if you're Riverton, that's what you need to do. You need to find some inside presence, especially down low with that only one guy in that zone. If you find that way to get in that, get some shooters on the corners, could be dangerous for Williamsville.
Sailing has it. He's guarded by Miller up close this time. He'll work to Thomas. Thomas and Davis went at it last time they played. They've already started going at it this game. Kohler giving to Timm. Timm to Thomas. Thomas is going to have to pass. He's got to count. To Sailing, who pops the 3. It's off. But Bodine's going to pull it down. Bodine's going to go to work. And that's 6.
Hey, we're talking about 12 points and a 7-point lead, and Sailing has 0 points.
Throws it out of bounds. It's a turnover for Davis, looking for Miller. Bullets get it back.
So again, this 1-3-1 has provided just some new life for Williamsville in the back half of the season. Forcing turnovers is now what they're built up on.
Sutton checks in for Riverton, number 24. Big guy. We saw a lot of him last game, so not surprised to see him here. It's Timm. It's an advantage play. Bodine, no foul. Shot's no good. It's Rice working it up the wave for the Hawks.
Got to use the glass.
He'll give it up to Crumrine. Crumrine, it's all the way out, back out to Sutton. Sutton feeds to Crumrine. Ball's free.
Timeout.
What are they going to do? Timeout given to Beard. The ball may have been free for a moment, so Beard probably going to use a 30-second. This timeout's brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire once again. Here, Bullets have it. Sailing will give it into Kohler. Kohler trapped, not really. He'll give it back to Sailing. Sailing guarded by Miller. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Sailing will give it to Thomas. Thomas near the left wing, driving in, now works back out, trying to set up this Bullet offense. He's loosely guarded by fresh in the game, Gage Warner. Timm giving to Bodine. Bodine works back near the free throw line. Giving to Timm. He pulls from 3 and he nails it.
2 for 2 already from 3.
The sophomore coming in clutch, 2 deep buckets to start this game. And if you have other shooters hitting besides Braden Sailing, That's huge for your offense.
It's out of bounds. Sutton saves it. Thomas has it. It's another turnover. Thomas up to Kohler. That's a turnover, and it's into the hands of Miller. Miller will work it back up the floor for the Hawks. Hartlob throws it. It's tipped out of bounds.
Like a kick ball on Bodine, but I want to talk about Bodine's efficiency so far. He's been
3 for 4.
active with his hands on the defensive end, and obviously 6 points, all from inside. If he uses his length to his advantage, he can be a real threat.
Crumrine is trapped. He
Out of
throws
bounds.
it away.
This is the same thing that this 1-3-1 is like the best defense I've ever seen Williamsville play since I've watched basketball.
Absolutely. And
As a little kid.
it's a complete shift from what they ran. It was strict man-to-man, lay back in the paint and painted area.
Thomas, he'll give down to Kohler. He's guarded up close by Sutton. Kohler to Thomas. Thomas works near the key. He'll give to Sailing. Sailing really hasn't been able to get open. Now guarded by freshman. The left-handed jumper is no good. Kohler will pull it down and give to Thomas, and that is, in fact, a travel. He probably should have just shot that. It was wide open.
I agree. He should have shot that, but
I think Beard was telling him that.
yeah, defensively, it's been just a complete 180 from strict man-to-man pack line defense to 1-3-1, forcing turnovers left and right, and it's proved out to work.
And I think Beard made that change because he was confident that this team would buy into it. Like completely buy in.
Throws Sailing on the ground. Rice throws a 3, and he's got it. Bullet fans wanted a foul. They don't get it. The Bullets up by 7 points.
I think that was maybe acted out a little bit, but nonetheless, Rice getting it to go.
Thomas giving to Timm, pulling from 3, nailing it.
Jesus.
He's gotten open, and he's hitting it. Him and Rice trading threes. Crumrine, it finds its way in the hands of Hartlob. Sutton pulls from 3, shot no good, and a foul is called. I think it's going to be on Garrett Timm. Yes. Yeah, it looks like a push down low. It's just the Bullets' second team foul.
I mean, who would have thought Garrett Timm in the regional championship?
3 for 3 from 3.
A sophomore, 9 points in the first quarter. I mean, just goes to show how unexpected basketball is.
Sutton no good. Kohler trying to pull it down. It's Thomas up to Timm. Timm to Scott, who's fresh in the game. Scott working around defenders, and he's got the bucket.
He's such a good finisher at the rim. I mean, I'm always impressed every game I watch him with how he finishes.
Rice will kick it across the way into the hands of Davis. Davis looking for Crumrine. Crumrine was open. He'll swing it to Sutton, who pulls a wide open 3, and he's knocking it down.
They're staying in it. They're trying their best.
Yep. Riverton's done a good job staying in it.
Still push the pace.
Scott kicks it out. It's out of bounds off Riverton. Riverton playing close defense down low. Bullets will have it on the baseline. Closest to the Riverton bench.
I would keep playing fast. I would keep exposing the holes in the defense so far. Williamsville has done that, especially in the fast break. Reed Bodine obviously getting in, and then Garrett Timm with the easy threes.
Garrett Timm pulls up 3. Shot no good. Crumrine has it. He'll kick it to Davis. He threw it out of bounds, and the Bullets will have it back after the turnover.
Oh, man.
Turnovers early for Riverton have definitely proved costly. We've had a lot of action in the first quarter. I can't believe it. 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in the first. Kohler fouled by Sutton.
Compared to Porta, I mean, Riverton was passing the ball like almost as efficiently as possible. This time they just haven't found the open man. They leave that cross-court path wide open. Maybe if you go to that, then you could possibly find some sort of life. Got to put a shooter there, though.
And I don't discredit Riverton for that. I credit the Bullets. I mean, nothing's open. Nothing has been open.
Thomas guarded by Davis, working in, fouled. And almost went in. But Thomas has 2 free throws coming up. The place would have went wild.
Yeah.
I think, the place would have exploded. And there is no empty seat in this gym. I mean, it is insane. And both sides covered in purple and gold, orange and blue, and
feels like the holiday tournament championship, I would call it, Nate.
Thomas hits it. He's at 4. Bullets back up by 10.
I think this is also the biggest Bullet student section I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Even at home, I don't think we even have student sections that big.
No.
This place is packed.
Yeah.
So it's a high school basketball gym, like something from yesterday. Thomas at the line hits him He's 3 for 3, so Bullets needed free throws today. They have them so far. It's in the hands of Julian Rice. Rice will throw it back across the way to Miller. Miller guarded by Griffin Watkins, who's fresh in the game.
And Jackson Sanders.
And Watkins almost got it, but Sutton able to pull it down. He's going for Crumrine. He almost turns it over. It's Grady Hartlob giving down to Crumrine. Swarmed by a bunch of Bullet defenders. Hartlob pulls from 3. Shot no good. The Bullets able to pull it down, and he's fouled.
That's a freshman, Nathan, in a regional championship. I mean, it's impressive.
Again, also on the other side, freshmen, you got Rice and Hartlaw both on the court.
Yep.
So inexperienced Riverton could potentially be their downfall so far, but still staying in it, only an 11-point lead, and Williamsville's got to keep on the pressure.
Timm will throw it in. He gives it to Brecken Thomas. Brecken Thomas guarded by Antonio Davis last minute here in the first, up by 11 points. Thomas works around Davis, now near the right wing, giving to Timm. Timm works it back towards the middle. He's going to swing it to Scott. Scott giving to Sailing, and they are going to call a foul. It'll be on Hartlob, called by veteran official Mark DiMarzio.
That'll be the bonus.
And it's bonus, so 2 shots coming up.
Arguably your best free throw shooter is at the line.
And by the way, Colin, free throws have been one of our biggest weaknesses, and I don't think we've missed one tonight. Oh, God, he's going to miss.
And he got the first, so.
Thought the announcer's jinx was going to.
Yeah, please never do that.
I'm sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, Sailing hasn't gotten going. That's his first point, and that's from the line. Really hasn't attempted anything, and besides that little floater layup, but
yeah,
if he gets going too, it'll be trouble.
Here's Hartlob. He's got it. He'll swing it to Antonio Davis. Davis swings it back to Miller. Miller, 36 seconds left in the first. Swings it, looking for Ethan Bates. It's yet another turnover now, and Dave Riedel's calling for a tip, so it stays with the Hawks down low.
Interesting.
I would put Antonio Davis inside. He's very athletic and can expose that middle of the 1-3-1. I don't know why Matt Mead isn't doing that, but again, what do I know?
Hartlob swings it to Crumrine, 32 seconds left. Crumrine swings it down to Hartlob. Hartlob to Davis. And Bodine thought he had a clean block, but a foul is called, and 2 shots will coming up for the big man for the Hawks.
I thought he did too, but also I'm across the court and biased, so.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of contact.
There's contact down low, so, you know, got to give him room. Davis at the free throw line. First is no good.
Not the greatest foul line shooter. We saw that against the previous game, but he is athletic and he can score down low, so don't give him too many opportunities.
And guys, I remember just a couple weeks ago we were talking about how the Bullets couldn't get anything going offensively, and how it was Sailing or bust. And Sailing has 2 points, and we are up 24-12 right now. So
24 seconds left in the first. No doubt, Kyle. It's been a big factor of why the Bullets have had so much success recently. Sailing has it, guarded by Hartlob. He'll give it to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Davis. 12 seconds. It'll be one final shot for Williamsville. Kohler trying to set a screen. Thomas is able to save it, and it is going to be a jump ball, and Riverton's going to get it back, so it's another turnover. Man. And that can't happen.
It just wasn't a good possession. He tried to do too much, and Antonio Davis is a very good defender.
What that does, though, and if Riverton doesn't score, the Bullets will, in fact, have the ball to start the second quarter.
Yep.
Well, obviously, Davis, a very good on-ball defender, long, lengthy, kind of like Bodine. So let's see if Riverton takes advantage.
Rice working to Miller, wide open, and that is a basket to end the first quarter for Riverton. So a little piece of momentum as they get it back to 10 points. Riverton looks to make up some ground in the second. Williamsville looks to continue their dominance here early at Athens and try and bring a regional home. We'll be back when the second begins. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Bullets have the ball. They have a 10-point lead, but the Riverton Hawks got a little piece of momentum there at the end of the second, or at the end of the first to start the second. It's Brecken Thomas having it, guarded by Antonio Davis. Thomas working, giving to Timm on the left corner, swinging down to Kohler. Kohler looking for his first points, and he's fouled. No shot, they say. It's on the floor. So it'll be Bullets ball on the baseline.
Against Crumrine. Kind of fell on top of Kohler's
first.
I think it was definitely on the floor.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, it is kind of a delayed call to be on the floor, and Sutton's got a foul. They're going to say that his body went into him. So two fouls early for Riverton within the first 13 seconds.
I don't know why.
I believe that's Miller's second.
I don't agree with
third. That's Miller's third.
And I don't agree with that
out of bounds play call. That's Sutton's third.
What'd you say, Colin?
I don't agree with that out of bounds play call. Just Kohler, obviously, I mean, he's tall, but you got two Riverton players that are equally as tall, and they jumped up, and
they're
no foul was called, they would have gotten it.
Yeah, that's very.
I don't know
he
about
was in
that.
the air.
He was in the air, but was he shooting?
He didn't even have the ball.
I agree. Kohler sinks the first.
Yeah. Bailed out by that foul. I don't agree with that out of bounds play. I don't like that up to Kohler thing. I would have rather something in the corner.
Kohler can't hit it. So Bullets not too shabby at the charity stripe so far. They're 6 of 7. Hartlob has it. Hartlob traveled, and that's as clear as day.
Yep.
That's as clear as day.
You could hear it almost, like the fans.
So the Bullets get it back. Yet another turnover for Riverton.
Keep the pressure on. Do what you've been doing. Maybe get Sailing incorporated with a 3. That would be a backbreaker.
Yep.
Put it up 14.
Timm coming around. He's got it. He's wide open. He pulls the 3,
Bang.
and he nails it.
I mean, he's got 12. He's been a big spark. Ever since he entered the starting lineup, he's starting to score a little bit more.
Here's Miller driving in around defenders. His shot is long. It's going to be out of bounds. They're going to say off Brecken Thomas, so it'll stay with the Hawks down low.
The Bullets up 14 in a regional final. It's kind of unheard of for Williamsville.
Antonio Davis to inbound for the Hawks.
Student section very vibrant here tonight. We saw it against QND.
Thomas falls down, so he's got to get back up. It's Hartlob looking for Davis. Davis, the reverse layup is good.
And like I said, if you get
Thomas
Antonio Davis
down there,
you get Antonio Davis down low, and he converts. Could be their source of offense.
Sailing has it, guarded by Hartlob. He's trying to work around that Hawk defender. They'll swing it to Kohler. Kohler trying to go to work. Gives it out to Thomas, who pulls from 3. Shot no good. Pretty decent looking shot, but Jackson Miller pulls down the defensive rebound, giving to Davis. Davis going in. No foul. I like it. It's a tough take, and we got a foul called down low. So that's one of those where, you know, there's contact. Is it a jump ball? You know, you kind of ask those questions. So it's the second for number 10, Griffin Hartlob, who's one of 2 Hartlob who gets in for the Hawks.
If I was Riverton, I'd create some sort of turnovers here, maybe apply some sort of pressure. We see here with Davis on Thomas.
He's done a good job on Thomas.
Thomas guarded by, and it's a charge called, so Brecken Thomas picks one up. It's a big momentum swing for Riverton.
You're up 12. I don't like ISO ball here. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
We need to swing the ball. What worked early? Swinging the ball, pushing the pace.
I agree with that.
And now we're playing ISO ball. I don't like it.
Rice has it. He'll give it to Davis. Davis swings back to Rice, who's really been neutralized this entire game by the zone. Crumrine to Davis. Davis down to Hartlob. Hartlob through some contact, but he gets the bucket, and it's back to a 10-point deficit for the Hawks with 6 minutes left in the half.
And like I said, scoring down low will have to be their source unless they start finding some life beyond the arc, which I don't see happening.
And it's another foul call that's on Hartlob. You know, there's contact.
He sold it, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, Brecken does a good job selling fouls, so.
Yep.
You know, Bullets 1 foul away from being in the bonus. 5 minutes, basically 6 minutes left in the half.
Got to keep the hands in check.
And Antonio Davis playing close defense here on Thomas. Brecken Thomas swings it to Bodine. Bodine working back towards the key. Bodine closely guarded this time by Gage Warner. Bodine swatted out of bounds. They're going to say it's tipped off White. So the Bullets are lucky to still have the ball there.
And run a different out-of-bounds play than that Kohler alley-oop, and I think they will.
Thomas giving into Sailing. Sailing giving to Thomas. Thomas driving in through contact. Shot's no good. It's out of bounds. They're going to say it's off Riverton, and it stays down low with the Bullets.
Wow. I think that might have been a.
It's close.
I think that might have been a we didn't call a foul, so we'll give Williamsville the ball type of thing.
Yeah, kind of either that or it was. We didn't really see who it went out of, so we'll keep it here.
Yeah.
And that happens because that's a hard call.
Like
Thomas giving to Kohler. Kohler swings to Timm. Timm drives in. Bodine open. Bodine traveled. Bodine forgot to dribble there for one moment. It's a turnover, and the Hawks look to cut this game back within 10 points.
That happens a ton in high school basketball. Just moving when you travels like that when you get the ball.
Rice has it, swings it across the way to Werner. Werner gives down to Davis. Davis, Euro step, no good. The offensive board, it's shot by Werner to way off, and the Kohler's able to pull it down off the backboard. And Kohler will swing it to Brecken Thomas, who will set up the Bullet offense under 5 minutes left in the half. Sailing gives to Kohler. Kohler gives back to Sailing. He really has had no shot attempts. Kohler working through some contact, and he gets the bucket. That's something Kohler has had some struggle with this year, but he gets that one to go. It's Davis swinging it to Crumrine. Crumrine giving back to Rice. Julian Rice working towards the right side, swinging to Davis. Davis swings it back across the way to Werner. Werner drives in for the Hawks. Mid-range jumpers, no good, and Kohler gets it back, and he'll give it to Sailing. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in the half. Sailing up to Bodine. Bodine, shot no good, and he's going to pick up a foul on top of it.
Man.
That can't happen.
You want to see that one go for sure.
You can afford the missed layup, but what you can't afford is that foul that comes with it. And that'll, although it's first, but again, you're going to have to convert in transition as well.
I think that was a frustration foul. Wouldn't you agree? Frustration foul there, Colin?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
he misses the layup.
Could have been big, but Bodine's
been
playing efficient minutes so far. That's just one of his
Hartlob throws it.
Early mistakes.
They're going to say it went out of bounds off Sailing. Sailing was making a tough defensive effort. Hawks will have it near the Bullet bench.
And I would like them to take advantage of that cross-court pass more. Maybe see if the Bullets over-pursue and then drive to the basket.
Here's Werner. Werner guarded by Timm, throwing to Miller, and Werner's going to lose it out of bounds. That was a tough pass, and the Bullets get it back.
A good move there to try and cut inside, just lost the ball, and comes back to the Bullets once again. Kind of been the story for the last 4 games.
Out of bounds, they're going to say a hit off Jackson Miller. Miller playing close defense on the inbound to Brecken Thomas. The Bullets still have it on their own baseline. Trying to get someone open. Timm will give it to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Hartlob. 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the half. Thomas driving on the freshman. Thomas swings it out to Scott. Scott, he's got it. He'll give out to Sailing. Sailing guarded by Miller. Sailing trying to drive in. Now we'll kind of work it back out and try to set up this offense. He'll give it to Brecken Thomas. Brecken Thomas guarded by Hartlob, trying to motion the offense, giving to Kohler. Kohler working to a cutting Sailing. Shot is high, and it's a foul as well after the missed layup. That's back-to-back offensive possessions.
I don't even think he meant to foul him. He kind of, his momentum took him into him.
You got to call it.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. No, definitely a foul, but I don't think it was like a frustration foul.
I don't either.
I think it was a momentum. It took his momentum into him.
He kind of just fell on him after the shot. Rice has it. He'll swing it across the way. It's Werner. Now he has it. Swinging it, and that's yet another turnover.
Wow.
And that's the zone. That's the zone.
Yep. Well, and we have a bunch of length, so force them to throw it over our defense, and then that turns into them throwing it over their offense and out of bounds.
30-second timeout called by Coach Meade and this Riverton Hawks. We'll take a quick break here on The Wire. Once again brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. We will be back. Welcome back to Athens as the Bullets battle.
Beating West Hancock 27-21 at half.
How about it? Thomas giving to Kohler. Kohler,
No
it's
foul.
out of bounds. Yeah,
Wow.
I agree with the no call. Kohler, and it is a foul as momentum for Miller. And that's one of those fouls that, you know, it's just an aggressive play. And I believe 2 free throws will be coming up for
that's their
Kohler.
5th foul.
So, yeah, that's back-to-back quarters with bonuses for the Bullets. So Hawks have definitely had some foul trouble.
Again, that might come to cost them late game. Kohler misses his first, but Riverton's going to have to find some sort of offensive identity against this 1-3-1. We didn't see QND do it. Matt Mead might need to draw up something at half to get his guys going.
Here's Rice. Rice will swing it to Antonio Davis. Davis trapped, giving back to Rice. Rice swings to Crumrine. Crumrine sailing once again on the floor. He has to get up. Crumrine is trapped. No 5-second count. He gives out to Davis, and Davis will set up the Hawk offense. He loses it for a moment. He doesn't have a dribble. He'll swing it to Rice. Rice guarded by Thomas and Scott. He'll swing it back across the way to Davis. Davis driving into a wide open Hartlaub who pulls from 3 and nails it.
It's a big shot.
Again, that's what you need to put him back. The holes in this 1-3-1 could prove fatal for Williamsville.
Yeah, it's a big shot.
The Bullets have it. Sailing will inbound. Hawks playing a full court press. Sailing will quarterback throw it to Kohler. Kohler is a receiver, but he lost it, and it's a turnover.
What a pass.
We are back here on the Williamsville Wire. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we think we're back. The Bullets have it. 12.6 seconds remaining here in the half. Thomas has it in the backcourt.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a set play for Braden Sailing.
Thomas loses it. 5 seconds. Now he's got to hurry, and he will be fouled, and 2 shots are coming up.
Wow.
You know, that's one of those where if you're going, you have to give, it's in the NFHS rulebook, you have to give the offensive player somewhere to go. You can't block him from getting out of bounds. If you are near the out-of-bounds line, that is a block call 100% of the time. It didn't used to be a rule. It's written in there now. It's officially written in there.
Is it written in
It's written in there. So I'm just saying that plays like that will always be called block.
Davis still playing tight D on Thomas, though, and almost turned it over twice. I'm not sure if Thomas is the guy you want, maybe, but he's the guy you have. So Antonio Davis obviously locking on, but Thomas is going to have to control the ball better. Twice that time and a couple others down the stretch.
Thomas nails the second one. The Bullets up to a 12-point lead. It's Rice. Last 2.5 seconds. He can't be stupid here. Rice hits the 3. No good. And the Bullets have a 12-point lead going to halftime. 37-25. The Hawks look to respond in the second half. The Bullets look to close this one out and capture their first regional in 6 years. You're not going to want to miss the end of this one. Join us for the second half. Stay with us here on the Williamsville Wire for second half action. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire here at Athens High School Regional Final. The Bullets lead by 12 points. Guys, what do we see in the first?
I like once again, the defensive pressure by Williamsville, the active use of hands, the ability to trap on command, and Riverton's had no answer offensively, started to pick it up late. But again, going into half, losing all that momentum, Williamsville expects to do the same thing this time around.
Rito blows his whistle, and the Hawks have the ball to start the second half. It's Antonio Davis with those halftime adjustments, kicking it out to Rice. Rice kicks it out to Crumrine. Crumrine will swing it back to Rice in the right corner, working back to Davis. Davis driving in, kicking it to a wide open Miller. Shot's no good, and Kohler has it, and he'll give it to Braden Sailing. Sailing will swing it to Brecken Thomas.
It's a big miss.
Brecken Thomas swings it over to Kohler on the left wing. Finding Timm, open, pulls a deep three, and he nails it. That was a long shot for Garrett Timm.
Wow.
That's huge. And Garrett Timm, obviously 15 points and I believe 5 threes and for the sophomore. And if he's able to key in and hit some shots, takes a ton of pressure off Braden Sailing.
Sailing has it. He'll give out to Thomas. Thomas swings it to Bodine. Bodine giving down to Kohler. Kohler able to corral it, work through some defenders, and he gets the bucket. And Kohler being able to work through some physicality today is a good sign. Is a really good sign.
100%, and he hasn't been the most efficient from beyond, or excuse me, down at the block. This time he has.
Crumrine is no good, and now a foul's going to be called on Sailing. You know, it's one of those, you know, it's physical there, and Mark DeMarzo standing right there saw some contact from Sailing, and I believe that's Sailing. That's a second.
Sailing in second, really been a non-factor in this game, and if Williamsville pulls this out,
offensively a non-factor. Let's just say that, offensively,
yes,
a non-factor. He's played great defense.
Williamsville, if they pull this out, it's a huge sign that they are more than just when Braden Sailing is hot. And that's huge for their confidence.
Has it, swings it to Crumrine. Crumrine corrals it, swings it down to Miller. Miller gives it back to Rice. Rice near the key, working in. Now he's at the right wing. They'll give it across the way to Hartlob. Hartlob swings it down to Davis.
Dark.
It is a block called. DeMarzo calls it. Braden Sailing, that's his third.
But yes, that's his third, and you, in a normal game, you're oh my God, Braden has 3. What are we gonna do? You know, we got to find offense. But
that's tough there because that's a play that, you know, was possibly an offensive. It's a kind of a 50-50 call. It's a judgment. So it's an interesting one. Yeah. Miller has it guarded by Thomas. He'll swing it to Rice. Rice now on the right wing, giving down to Davis. Davis swings it back out to Rice, guarded by Garrett Timm. They'll give it to Davis. Davis swarm, and back out to Hartlob, who pulls the 3, and he nails it.
So again, like I said, utilizing that cross-court pass, Riverton able to find Hartlob to get an easy 3.
Garrett Timm giving to Kohler at the free throw line. Kind of a hurry-up offense. Bodine will give to Sailing. Sailing works back towards the free throw line, giving to Kohler through some contact, no good. And Bodine poked it free for a moment, but it's Crumrine into the front court. Getting a step, kicking it out to Hartlob, who just hit a 3. He'll get back to Crumrine. Crumrine, no offensive foul. Miller able to get it. Now it's Crumrine, the jumper, no good. Kohler gets the rebound, so the Bullets come out of that with a stop.
Thought they had an offensive foul, but good job by Kohler to stay locked in on defense.
Brecken Thomas, mid-range jumper is good.
Boom.
You know you're having a good night when that's falling.
Thomas's ability to shot create is what kept us in that Plains game. And even though we lost, he had a tremendous offensive game.
It's yet another turnover. It's by Hartlob, and it's Timm who's being swarmed, and he's going to turn it over into the hands of Rice, and he's going to be fouled. And I think Kohler was fouling him on purpose there. So
yeah,
probably
prevent an easy bucket, but again, you can never doubt Rice. I mean, he is the definition of a scorer and a shot creator, and he can make guys miss, especially like this.
Rice pulls from 3, shot no good. Antonio Davis is able to get the offensive rebound, works around Kohler. The jumper is no good. Garrett Timm has it. Jump ball. Bullets will get it back after the jump ball, but Hawks fans excited about that one.
I don't know. I think I saw a little bit of contact.
Yeah,
there.
I think I did too.
That's
It could go both ways.
That's one that's also been called a foul on Williamsville in this game, like something like that, a tie up. So.
Got to take care of the ball.
Brecken Thomas swinging to Bodine. Bodine pulls the three,
Bang!
and he nails it!
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Bodine feeling his shot. He's at 9.
The Beard is fired
Timeout
up.
called by Coach Mead, and Reed Bodine hits the 3, his first of his varsity career, and it couldn't have came at a better time. It's a 19-point lead for Williamsville, looking for the first regional in 6 years. We'll be back after the full timeout. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Reed Bodine just looked at us and smiled, so he knows we were talking in chemistry today that he was going to hit a 3, and he just did. So, but it's a 19-point lead. Hartlob has it. He'll swing it to Davis. Davis back across the way to Rice. Rice swings to Hartlob. Hartlob to Davis, and he's going to get fouled by Brecken Thomas. And you know that's
not a rotation you need. And Brecken Thomas obviously initiating that contact.
My book says that's Thomas's first or second.
It says second on the board.
So that's number 2. So I must have missed one. It's all right. Hartlob, inbound, giving to Rice. Rice working in for the Hawks. Now swinging out to Hartlob. Sutton has it in the corner, pulling from 3. It's no good. Kohler, a tough rebound.
And he's very physical, can grab those boards.
Bodine driving in. It'll get back to Kohler, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bullets. Tipped out of bounds by Hartlob. So Bodine there going fast.
Nathan, the Riverton beat us last time, and we were up almost 20 points.
Yeah.
So like we were saying, a completely different team.
It shows the unpredictability of basketball. I mean, when we're hitting shots and they're not, I mean, it explains why we're up so much.
Timm has it. He fell to the ground, and a timeout's called by Coach Beard. It'll be a full timeout, and I wonder if this one will be on the baseline or not. Beard's asking. I think it'll be right where Mark DiMarzio's standing. We'll take a quick break here on the Wire. The Bullets still leading by 19. Welcome back. Williamsville Wire live coverage continues. Regional final, 3:54 remaining in the third. The Bullets 19-point lead. Garrett Timm swings it into Brecken Thomas. He's guarded up by Antonio Davis. Thomas swings it to Kohler near the free throw line, giving back out to Sailing on the left wing. Driving in now through to some defenders. Shot up, no good. It's taken down by Warner. Sailing shot a little off tonight, but luckily the Bullets haven't needed him so far to have a big lead.
Who knows what the lead would be if Sailing got going.
Yeah. Warner in, it's Rice, and he's got the basket. I believe only 4 points tonight for Julian Rice.
He's got 8
points. Okay, it's been a quiet 8, though. 10 points, okay. Block called as it looks like Antonio Davis had a foot out of bounds.
Could be his, either third or fourth. It'll be his
Third for Davis, so I believe he'll probably work out of the game. Hartlob comes in.
So both Hartlobs in. Both can shoot it at high percentages. So look for them maybe in the cross court.
Timm swings it into Kohler. Carson Kohler has it. He'll give to Sailing. Sailing out to Timm. Timm thought about shooting in the left corner. Now he'll give to Carson Kohler near the key. He'll swing it to Thomas. Thomas driving in. The jumper is no good. Carson Kohler, the tough offensive board, and he's fouled.
Kohler kind of jawing at
Hartlob down low.
number 41, Braden Hartlob. Again, tough physical rebound. Another one by Carson. He's using his size and athleticism to pull that down. Obviously, got to have a little ferociousness.
Timm swings it back to Braden Sailing. Sailing guarded by Rice, who's done a phenomenal job on him tonight. Braden Sailing giving back to Bodine. Bodine swings it to Timm, who's open from 3. Shot no good. Sailing able to get it. The offensive rebound, the jumper is no good. Sutton pushes it up to Hartlob. Is it too fast? It's not, but it's into the hands of Thomas. Thomas is looking for Timm. Timm has it. He'll swing it to Thomas. Brecken Thomas up to Kohler. Kohler giving to Thomas, who pulls from 3. Shot no good. Bodine comes down with it for Williamsville, and he's going to turn it over into the hands of Gage Warner. So a tough play there, but Riverton, it's out of bounds, and the Bullets
right here
have it back.
What
What a series.
Came flying into Bryson Tricky, and Bryson took it like a man.
Yeah. Scott in for the Bullets.
I think Williamsville should have just, taken it down. I don't mind the Thomas shot, no doubt, but, Bodine gets it back. I think you're kind of in a rush there, trying to pick apart this Hawk defense. But nonetheless, the Bullets come away with it. No points on the board for the Hawks. Thomas, he'll swing it to Timm near the left wing. 2 minutes remaining in the third. Scott, he's got it near the key. Giving back out to Timm. Beard's trying to tell him to hold on here. Now Timm trying to go to work, loses his dribble. He'll give it back out to Kohler. Kohler swings it to Timm, and Timm gives it out to Thomas.
This is part of the game.
Thomas
where every
has a
shot
count.
is a backbreaker. Bullets need to take advantage.
Thomas, no good. Crumrine up the way. It's into the hands of Hartlob, and it's stolen away out of bounds by Sailing. So tough defensive play to save an easy bucket for the freshman.
Yep.
So again, yes, for Sailing, not a non-factor on offense, but defensively he's been there, and he's been one of the main proponents of this 1-3-1. So he'll work out, but again, a great poke there to prevent the easy layup.
Bullets scoreless for a little while, but it's in the backcourt here. It's turned over. It's Brecken Thomas into the front court, fouled. 2 shots coming up for the Bullets. Power forward.
Power forward is crazy for the small forward.
Small forward.
He's a 3.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He's a 2-3, never goes down to the 4. That spots are usually reserved for Scott and Bodine, and obviously Watkins, who's in now. It looks like Brecken's actually running the 1 here with Timm at the 2, Scott at 3, and Watkins at 4, and obviously Kohler at the 5. Doesn't leave there, but again, pretty
Thomas,
cold.
no good. He's 0 for 2. That trip to the charity stripe. It's Rice up the way. Shot no good, and Griffin Watkins rebounding there. Good, but he's going to turn it over. It's Sutton into the hands of, and a foul's going to be called on Carson Kohler. He doesn't like it. That's going to be his 3rd, I believe.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
I do. I think
it was
Kohler
tied
got him
up.
on the wrist,
I think so. It's just a physical play. I'm calling a jump ball there.
I agree with the referee. I would call the foul.
Yeah, usually I agree with the referee, but Mark, he's I don't know. It's fine. It is what it is. Crumrine to the line. 1 minute 26 seconds left here in the third. Crumrine's first. No good.
I guess ball doesn't lie, Simcoe.
I don't know, man.
I still want Williamsville to be aggressive.
Oh,
I don't
no
want
doubt.
them
No
to
doubt. You got to
sit around and hold it, because
17's never enough.
we tried that, and we've had very limited success with that. We are a team that wants to go fast. We are a team that has the ability to go fast, and we should.
Thomas has it. He'll corral it and give it to Sailing. Braden Sailing has it near the right wing, guarded up close by Grady Hartlob. Julian Rice taking on Garrett Timm now in your defensive efforts. For the Hawks, Braden Scott has it, dribbling around the left side. He's got it. He's trapped. He's going to have to get it out. He'll swing it to Thomas. Thomas able to corral it. And now Brecken Thomas will swing it out to Braden Sailing. He's near the right wing. Final minute here in the third. Sailing guarded by Hartlob. They'll get back out to Thomas. Thomas this time guarded by Jackson Miller.
I would imagine Williamsville holds for one shot here.
Thomas trying to drive in out to Sailing, and Sailing has it on the right wing. Now closely guarded. He's got a count. Now he's not guarded. Now he does have a count. Sailing now will try and work out of it. He's not closely guarded. Now he's got one. He's got to get rid of it or else he's going to get a 5-second. Now he isn't guarded, so we'll give it out to Thomas. Thomas guarded by Miller, 18 seconds. He's got a count. And now he'll work it back out.
Again, holding the ball. We'll see what kind of shot they get out of this.
6 seconds, he almost turns it over. Thomas swings it to Timm. Timm declined. Rice has it. Final shot, no good. That's the end of the third quarter. The Bullets have a 16-point lead at the end of the third. The ball will be Riverton's to start the fourth. Bullets trying to protect 16 points to get that regional title. We'll be back. Stay with us here on The Wire. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Final 8 minutes. Bullets up by 16. Hartlob has it. He's guarded by Thomas. He'll swing it to Julian Rice. Julian Rice with 10 points. He'll give it down. It's Davis. Davis trying to go to work. He's behind the basket. Through contact, and he gets it. That's a tough basket for Antonio Davis.
Only 14 now, Nathan. This one's still
it's
within reach.
It's going to go down to the wire, no doubt. Brecken Thomas screened by Sailing. Now giving to Bodine, and it's a turnover, and the Hawks have it back.
So again, if they're able to convert here, this turns a almost 20-point game back down into around 10. And with a 3, it'll be 11. 2 would be 12, but again, still manageable.
Rice swings it to Davis. Davis trying to go to work. He's going to give it into Crumright. It finds its way out to Hartlob. Hartlob to Rice, who pulls the 3. Shot no good. Sailing has it, and he's fouled.
Yeah, obvious foul there, but again, you can't leave Rice that wide open. Missed opportunity there by him, but Williamsville got away with one. Big sigh of relief.
Yeah. Because if he hits that, man, he got a lot of momentum swinging.
11 points, 7 minutes and 16 seconds. It's still doable. Going to take a lot, but it is still doable. And we know
Bullets have to, in my opinion, stay aggressive. Kohler, I don't think he has a dribble. He'll give it to Sailing. He's guarded by Hartlob, and he'll work it into the front court, and he'll turn it over, and it's Julian Rice. And they're going to call a foul. It's Dave Riedel. 2 shots coming up for Julian Rice, and that's a big swing.
I don't know. Sailing obviously turning it over, then kind of thought about trying to swipe it away, ended up getting him on the arm. Again, not a good showing tonight from Sailing, but it really doesn't matter because Williamsville has succeeded well without
this one out.
And that's a very good sign if Williamsville does pull this out, as Rice misses his first. But if they do pull it out, I mean, teams around this area are looking, whoa, Williamsville can win without a big Sailing game. And if he's able to get going as well as the other guys, I mean, they'll be tough to beat.
Rice gets it to fall through, so it's just a 13-point lead for the Bullets. Timm's got to find someone. He gives it into Thomas. Thomas is going to be fouled, and it's going to be Jackson Miller picking one up. I like the foul call there.
I like that one.
Can't let stuff like that get out of hand.
No.
Especially in a sloppy game like this.
That's a second, so not in foul trouble. And Garrett Timm, yet another inbound play. The Hawks have been defensively kind of stepping up here recently. Thomas giving to Bodine. Bodine swings it to Kohler. Kohler has it near the right corner. He'll give it out to Bodine. Bodine swinging to Thomas. Thomas driving in. The mid-range jumper is good. A much needed bucket for Williamsville.
Whispered, shoot it. Thomas did in fact shoot it, and that's a high percentage look. Even though it's mid-range, Thomas can hit those.
And now Rice is trapped. He'll give it to Miller. Miller near the key, swinging to Sutton. He pulls from three. Shot no good. Thomas pulls it down.
Pace. I would push it here.
Push it. Here we go. Thomas giving to Sailing. Sailing giving to Timm. Timm thought about shooting. Now he'll give it to Thomas, but it's tipped. And it's yet another turnover, and Hartlob up the floor is fouled in 2 shots. Potentially a travel. You know, it's close. Kind of a close play there.
Beard saying to Thomas, stay down, don't leave your feet, and that's how
especially a guy who's not a big, you know, you want to
that's how
make him try to work.
Yeah, especially smaller offensive players are able to take advantage of the defense and throw their body towards the defender, and the defender would get called for a foul. We see it all the time in college and especially the NBA, but rule number 1, don't leave your feet.
His second is no good. He misses both of them. It hits off Crumrine and finds its way into the hands of Rice. Rice giving to Crumrine. Crumrine out to Sutton. Sutton driving into Crumrine. Crumrine around some defenders. Shot, no good. Kohler pulls it down. And he's out of bounds. And the Hawks have got it back.
Wow. Fans wanted to push there, but I like the no call.
You know, it's close. I mean, you got to work. You got to let the guys play, but you know, you got to give them somewhere to go. And that's a 50-50 call in my opinion.
I agree.
But the guy was standing right there. He decided not to call it. Antonio Davis out. It's a huge swing for the Hawks. And Miller lost it. It's out of bounds, and it's back to Williamsville.
They're going to give that to Williamsville?
Yeah, it didn't look like that to me.
You can always tell what happens by the player's reaction.
Yeah, I didn't see
Riverton
anything.
Thought it obviously went out on them.
Thomas has it, spinning around defenders, giving to Kohler. Kohler, tough pass to Bodine, tries to go to work, and he's got it, and it's yet another high-scoring night.
And that's beautiful basketball. Thomas spin move over to Kohler. Kohler, quick pass to Bodine. Bodine inside. I mean, that's just textbook offense.
Sailing has it. It's another turnover, and Sailing will try to corral it and try and set up the Bullet offense. He'll give it to Kohler, and it'll stay with Williamsville. I wish that we would push that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're just not quite getting.
I think especially
it's like last game against Q&D, we had a push. You know, we got to take advantage of what we have, and Timm will pass it into Thomas.
Especially in the 1-3-1 where, you know, you are running a track meet, and if you're able to catch Riverton being tired or lazy, take advantage.
Kohler the putback, he's got it.
So back to a 19-point lead, and now Riverton taking a timeout. Matt Mead's going to find his final corral, but Riverton obviously looking like a dead man in water.
Yeah, Bullets back up to a 19-point lead. That ties the biggest lead of the night for the Bullets as they look to put this one on ice. 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Hawks have it, 5:25 remaining. They're down by 19 points here in the regional final. It's Hartlob, he's got it, he'll swing it to Rice, who almost turns it over. Rice swings it back to Hartlob. Hartlob guarded by Thomas and Bodine. He'll swing it down to Davis, and the shot is good.
Riverton trying to play for pride, and they thought.
And Hartlob, that might be it for him.
I don't think so. I think that's his fourth.
Four for Hartlob. I think he got 3 early, so.
Now for Williamsville, this is the time to make
Yeah, but he's getting
Riverton.
pressed, so you got to help him here. It's Timm. Timm will give back to Sailing. Sailing's got to get in the front corner, and he does. So avoids the 10-second.
This is where you start to reel it back, make Riverton try and press and try and foul you, and then be consistent from the line.
Thomas to Timm on the right wing. He'll swing it back to Braden Sailing near the key. Braden Sailing getting a count, trying to work around Hartlob. He's still got a count. He's got to get rid of it or drive. He'll drive. He'll give it out to Carson Kohler. Kohler to Thomas. Thomas through some defenders, and it is no good. So
I don't disagree with it.
I don't
Running
either.
clock, but high percentage shot, just going to convert.
Crumrine, no good. Bullets have it back. Kohler has it. He'll give it to Sailing.
Smart defense there by Sailing to not engage his body into the offender, and it worked wonders there.
Timm giving to Kohler. It's tipped out of bounds by Hartlob.
But again, Braden Sailing not really giving an inch on defense, and then Kohler aggressive rebounding. He's been kind of integral getting those defensive rebounds, not keeping the Riverton possessions alive, which killed us in the final, or the last game we played.
Sailing has it, left corner, giving to Bodine. Bodine swings it to Kohler. Kohler, 4 minutes left, and Mead's like, you got to start playing here. Now it's Bodine near the key. Bullets trying to run some clock. Bodine, you've just got to crowd and get it out, and someone's got to get it. He'll swing it to Bodine, or to Thomas, and he'll turn it over.
But if Riverton can keep forcing these turnovers, that's part one, and part two is you got to score, whether that's beyond the arc or anything inside. Still an ample amount of time.
Antonio Davis driving in around some defenders. Jumper, no good. Into the hands of Sailing, and Sailing trying to push it, giving to Thomas. 3:40 left in it. Thomas to Timm. Timm from the left corner, point from 3, and it is long gone, but it's Bodine giving to Sailing, point from 3. Shot no good. He doesn't have a 3 yet in this game. It's not on a whole lot of people's bingo card, but Antonio Davis back out to Rice. Rice giving to Davis. Davis driving in, and he's got it.
Doesn't really matter a whole lot, though.
So again, this is good practice for Williamsville to try and break presses they don't normally see.
And I don't know about that one. That was a foul. I'll say that one. That was a foul. I don't usually. On the left side, Timm blocked out of bounds. Antonio Davis out of bounds, according to the NFHS rulebook. That is, in fact, a foul, not a judgment. And it's no good, but Thomas will pull it down. And Thomas will try to work it up the way for the Bullets, but he is going to be fouled by Julian Rice.
I guess ball doesn't lie.
Yeah, there you go. Dave Riedel making the call.
So Bullets entering the bonus now. Be consistent from the line. We haven't really had a consistent free throw shooting night this season, especially when it comes down to the wire. So for Williamsville, it'll be important to take in the next game.
Bodine driving in, giving to Kohler. I think that was intended for Timm.
It was.
Timm will give back to Kohler. Kohler's there, so he's going to grab it. Thomas, right side, guarded by Julian Rice. So he'll give back out to Sailing. So the Bullets are just doing a good job just holding the ball. They got to get going here. Sailing giving back down to Thomas, and almost turned over. They're going to say out of bounds, off Braden Sailing, heading back to the Hawks. I would like to see Williamsville score. I don't know.
I agree.
This
you
one's
can't
probably
really
over.
sit on a cushion.
Yeah, but you can't
offensively.
think like that. You got to score, in my opinion. I think you can't
This
let
is where
them
you
inch
reel it
back into the game.
This is where you reel it back offensively, but if you have a wide open shot or a high percentage look that you guys can hit, you could take it.
Here we go. It's Hartlob. He'll swing it down to Crumrine. Crumrine guarded by Sailing, swinging out to Hartlob. He pulls the 3. Shot no good. Davis the rebound and the bucket. And it's a 13-point lead for Williamsville. 2 minutes left here in the fourth. As Riverton starts to inch back, it's another turnover, and Rice, an easy bucket. Timeout's going to be called by Coach Beard. Back to an 11-point lead for Williamsville as they've kind of let them back into this one. We'll take a quick break here on The Wire, once again brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Mueller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire after a made bucket. The Bullets looking to get an inbound in. Riverton's playing some stout defense. And Bodine, it's out of bounds off Crumrine, and it's going to stay with the Bullets. He should have just gave that up to Kohler. Kohler was wide open coming up the floor.
Got to break the press.
Bodine
somehow.
giving into Thomas. Thomas swinging to Sailing, who's open. They got to push it here. They're in transition. Kohler will back out. Last minute 50. He'll give to Sailing. Sailing's trapped in the corner, working around a few defenders. He goes to the basket and gets a much-needed bucket for the Bullets.
Huge, working around two defenders, splitting them and getting inside. That's textbook offense right there.
Miller to Rice. Rice will. It's out. It's on the floor. It's a scrum. It's Thomas in the front court, giving to Kohler. Kohler will hold it and give to Bodine. Does Riverton foul? And they do, and it's Julian Rice picking one up.
Beard's got that smile on his face again tonight, as he did against QND, so you can start to feel it. And Riverton subs in the bench players.
Subs will come in.
I don't know if I agree with that. There's still a minute 20 down 13. Anything can happen, especially in basketball. But Matt Mead congratulating his guys, putting, I believe, the seniors in, and will likely end their basketball careers.
You know, Ethan Bates, you look at him, he plays baseball, so it's not the end, but so does Isaac Crumrine.
I think Beard should do the same then if
Yeah, he needs to take his seniors out one by one.
Gets them out and get them out and
Right, man,
rest
the whole
them for
check
next
in.
game. This is the start of the integration process.
Sailing hits it. Ryan Mendenhall will work in for Braden Sailing as Williams was going to win a regional. Can you believe it?
First time since 2018, Williamsville in regionals. Hasn't been the best of relationships the past 6 years, but Beard finally brings one home again.
He did it. I know.
With the roster,
this is his fourth.
Kohler goes
especially
out.
after, Blake Shuffler goes down.
Yeah, that's
You don't
huge.
know the outlook
Man.
of this team, and this team, the ability, the resiliency to respond to adversity in the holiday tournament, getting second in their home tournament, then coming here and winning a regional, something the prior team last year couldn't do. So props to these guys for working their tail off, and props to the Williamsville Bullets and Coach Nick Beard and his staff for a great regional championship win.
Garrett Timm comes out. He's going to finish with 15. What a night for him.
I can't even lie to you, Nathan. I've watched Bolts basketball for a long time, and I've never been more impressed with Coach Beard than this season. I mean, you plan all summer around Blake Shuffler. You plan the first 10 games around Blake Shuffler. He goes down, and you have to adjust on the fly. And then you do adjust on the fly and have a great holiday tournament, and then you go on a rough stretch, and you adjust again. And now they're playing the best basketball that they've played all season. So
Sanders will give it to Nolan
really good.
Bryant. Nolan Bryant giving to
Bang.
Ryan Mendenhall, pulls the three, and he nails it.
The icing on the cake.
So Mendenhall not playing at all this game, comes in, hits a three. Maybe it's just been that type of night for Williamsville beyond the arc. Garrett Timm and
It's just been their
Mendenhall has a
night.
three before Braden Sailing.
It's just been their night, Colin.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Riverton.
And the Bullets, you know, I can't even lie to you. When Blake went down, I was like, man, this season was going to be so good, but we're still here winning a regional by 17 points. So, I don't know, something special here.
Brody Newhoff has it, and Coach Beard is
fired up. I've never seen him show this much emotion, Nathan. I really haven't.
He wants a regional more than anything, and he's got one.
He's had talented teams, and then he's had this team that he has coached and coached and coached, and he has worked as hard as he's ever worked in his coaching career to make this happen, and it happened, and he could sense it all coming together right at the right time.
The Bullets are regional champions. Can you believe it? Well, I can, crazy. And they're heading to Beardstown to play for sectionals. We're immediately going to check the score of the Auburn game right now, so we'll see if we have any sort of update there. And Auburn did win, so the Bullets have a date with yet another rematch. They play the Auburn Trojans at Beardstown. I believe it's at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Williamsville will be there. So,
of course we will.
And this is a huge victory for Williamsville, the whole community. This has been a long time coming. We'll take a break here on the wire. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and end the stream. Like I said, Beardstown, we'll have information. Pay attention to our social media as the presentation begins here. Once again, stay wired in as the season goes along. Great season for the Riverton Hawks, but the Bullets have the regional. We'll see you in Beardstown.